conversation actually in the back of the car.
Well, a very good afternoon and welcome to this afternoon's Late Bite Lunch. Cheryl isn't joining us in studio today. She's actually working behind the scenes there trying to get a secure line with our guest in Ukraine. So hopefully he will be joining us as the show goes on. I am, however, extremely delighted. We have a wonderful guest also joining us, the wonderful enigma and absolute machine of a man promoting micro businesses that is Tony Robinson. Tony, we're absolutely delighted you were able to join us.
Fabulous. Happy lunchtime. Rory, great to see you.
Absolutely. You too. Always great to have you with us. As you know, today is World Book Day, and that was part of the reason we wanted to bring you on, Tony, as a wonderful author, but we've also got the Biz Matters Day to talk about, the Micro Business Awards, UK and Ireland finals. We've so much to get through. But first of all, I think what we'll do is we'll get you to tell us all a little bit about yourself and let people get a background as to who you are.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm kind of known as the micro business champion. I was at the Business Book Awards talking about books this week and in Birmingham in the UK. And I met somebody who reminded me that when he first met me, I was campaigning for paying 30 days or less. And that was 30 years ago. So I've a long time I've been doing a lot of campaigning to help micro businesses. But like you, I've run multiple businesses with my partner for over 30 years as well. And I have founded a number of organisations, particularly to help startups in the UK, national organisations. And I'm very proud of that. And I'm still chairman of Yorkshire in Business, which you're coming to, Rory, and we'll be welcoming you for the Biz Matters Festival and Biz Matters Day, and 2 days and nights of great fun celebrating micro business owners.
Absolutely brilliant. Thanks, Tony. Yes, and I'm delighted to say I've had another couple of emails this morning about more Irish businesses that are going to come over to the festival. So we will talk more about that in a little while.
Lovely.
As I said, we are hoping to be joined shortly by Brendan Murphy in the Ukraine, who's trying to make his way out at the moment, if we can get a secure connection there. So Cheryl is working away on that in the background. So it is World Book Day, Tony.
Yes.
I think we can't pass without mentioning your book.
Lovely.
Who Wants to Be a Happypreneur?
There we go. Yeah, the happypreneur. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. How do you define a happypreneur?
Yeah, well, basically, I mean, I've written a lot of books, Rory, over the years, but this one was a little bit special because it was a collaboration over 2 years with a wonderful woman called Taryn Lee Johnson, and basically she wrote a memoir of my life and my journey in business and supporting micro businesses. And each section then had a question and answer section, which I answered, if you like, key questions about life and happiness and being enterprising. And over a period of time, I've always been really interested in philosophy, right from being a student at university, where I did philosophy. And I put together this philosophy, which I'm now touring with in a show called Happypreneurship. And to answer your question directly, being a happypreneur is the same as being in a workplace happy most of the time, 80% of the time, by the way, Rory. That's the acid test that you're actually a friend of mine who does happiness in the workplace consulting and various things. That's his acid test. So mine is the same. Mine's saying, you've got to be happy over 80% of your time being enterprising, like what we do every day, trying to earn money to make ends meet, but in our own enterprises. And if you're that, then you're a happypreneur. It's enterprising behavior, but it's all based around 10 values, really. And a bit like the Stoics and various people, it's really important that you have values in order to get fulfillment, really. I mean, one of the most important values of being a happypreneur, which is like so important if your friend comes in from the Ukraine, which is the important part of the show, Rory, is that, be useful is very important in terms of a value that you need in order to be a happypreneur. There are lots of millionaires and billionaires that are entrepreneurs that are not very useful, that are powerful and greedy, and not very happy either, 80% of the time, if you like. There are some millionaires, and I mentioned many of them in the book, that are happypreneurs, and what they all have in common are about these 10 values that I talk about in my show. But the very first starting off one, which you and I have talked about before, is do something you love and that you're good at. I know it's very obvious, but you've got to start somewhere. We all start our own enterprises to control our own freedom. But a lot of people,
I mean, that passion is so important.
Absolutely. A lot of people that go into their own business, they make the mistake of almost like swapping one job they didn't like for another job they don't like, and that's because they're not doing something they love doing and they're good at.
No, absolutely. I mean, again, and I know Cheryl will probably be laughing in the background when she hears me mention this. But many years ago, I had the partner of a client of mine come to me to say, "Oh, I've decided I want to start a business."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Great, what are you thinking of doing?" "Well, I'm thinking I might do this. Do you think I could make a lot of money doing that very quickly?" And I said, "Well, have you any interest in it?" "No, I just want something that's going to make money very fast." And I said, "Well, then you're wasting your time going into business for yourself."
well, isn't it amazing? I mean, I don't know what. I mean, we could talk about this for ages, but I like one of the most nonsensical things I've ever come across. But it's now one of the myths of entrepreneurship is that you don't start a business without an exit strategy. Now, you and I and millions of other business owners. A lot of them will carry on working till we're way past retirement age because we're doing something we actually are good at, we love doing, we've got a passion for. And even my school friend, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who I've mentioned before, who is worth 19 billion pounds and is the richest entrepreneur in Europe. He's exactly my age because he was my schoolmate in my class, and he's not retired either. So you can be a billion, but if you're doing something you love and you're good at, well, what's the point of retiring? It's just within your life, isn't it?
No, and that is exactly it. And I mean, again, as they say, if you're doing something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Absolutely.
Now, I have to admit, there are days when you feel, why do I put myself through this?
But absolutely, and that's what the show is about, and that's what the book is about. It's about how you react basically, Rory. How you react to the things that are thrown at us, you know, including pandemics, including wars, including government discrimination, including, you know, all you know, somebody you love is going to die probably, or have a serious illness, or these things are all happening, and it's a way of actually how you react to the things going on, because you've still probably, if you're like me and you've still probably got to make ends meet by earning a living. And so you've actually got to continue. You've got to continue working through these things that actually hit you from all sides, include not just business things. So yeah, absolutely that. You know, it's not some happy clappy kind of stuff that actually says. You know, in fact, one of the greatest things is somebody called Aristotle, who you probably heard of, Rory. He actually said happiness is an activity. And a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that happiness is a mindset purely. It isn't at all. Happiness actually happens to you because you're actually doing something that actually gives you happiness. So, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right, well, I think we'll move on and discuss Micro Biz Matters Day, but before we do, a little taster of what people can expect.
Yeah, lovely. Well, I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. Number one, that you're coming over from Ireland, and that is just that makes it very special. And oh, that's lovely. Picture of sunny Scarbados. So so we're in Scarborough, North Yorkshire, and
right. Well, just if you I get you to hold it there for a second, and we'll just run this quick video for people.
Lovely.
Fairly chance conversation actually in the back of the car driving through to York one day that I didn't think he would take seriously when I first mooted the idea, and he did, and we find ourselves here now.
Yeah, self-employment, I mean, it's great. I have to say it's fantastic, and what it has done for us is, first of all, it's given me a few more grey hairs. I've got to say that, you know, but you know, you're your own boss.
I've always worked for other people. For 20 years I've been in the hospitality sector, and it was always something that I wanted to be. I became self-employed about 6 years ago, and COVID pushed me in a direction to open up a restaurant.
I can go on holiday normally more. True. Not the last couple of years, but generally.
Self-employment's given me a hell of a lot more freedom. It's given me a chance to make some actual money as I'm working for myself. I can work as hard, as long, or as little as I want. It's good. It's far better working self-employed than it is working for somebody else.
Yeah, Micro Biz Matters, and let me say it really does matter. And one of the things that we found is like a new startup business is we found it really, really important that we make small connections with other businesses in the area. So, for example, our clothing brand, Old Man Jones, we get that. It's all locally sourced. We work very closely with a supplier that's no more than 2 miles away. They're bought into our product and we're bought into their concept. So I think all of us are helping each other when we talk about things like Micro Biz Matters. I think it's really an important thing to say.
I think Micro Biz Matters is important because it's putting the focus on people like ourselves, small businesses, and I think with COVID and the way in which the high street is changing and business is changing, there's actually a massive opportunity for small businesses to kind of claw back some of that market that they maybe lost in the last 30 years to the giants of the world.
Yay! We're all so excited and sunny Scarborough to welcome you to the Micro Biz Matters Festival.
So there we are, sunny Scarbados indeed.
Contributing in Scarborough, so we've got we've got 2 party nights, and I'll tell you all about the wonderful speakers and all things in a second. But we've got 2 fantastic party nights, so I hope you like partying, Rory. So the first night we have like a kebab party. Yeah, and the second night has like a pizza party, and the owner of Ember's Restaurant was there. So independent business owner providing all the food for our parties and things. There's also lots of activities that you can try, like surfing, for example. So we've made arrangements for anybody that wants to try surfing, and one of the business owners was there, and they'll actually provide the surfing instructors and all the gear and various things, and that's within everybody's ticket and price and various things. The speakers lineup is absolutely unbelievable. And I think one of the reasons is I'm so lucky, Rory. This is my, as you know, it's my last, it's our last annual Microbiz Matters Day. It's the 8th annual one that we've had. It's absolutely the final one. And we call it 1 million hands, because helping hands, because all we ask is for micro business owners to actually give a little bit of time to help another micro business owner on the day, and we always get over 1 million micro business owners actually giving a little bit of time to help each other. And all my friends, people that I know that haven't participated in any of the previous 7 Microbiz Matters days have actually agreed to speak. Some of them, I mean, most of them I've never known speak for free. I mean, that's a fantastic thing. They're traveling incredible distances, not just from Ireland, but from Wales, from tips of Scotland, from Broad, all various things. They're all giving up their time free to speak at our Microbiz Matters Festival and Microbiz Matters Day. And that includes people like the UK's #1 motivational speaker who contributed to the book The Happypreneur, Brad Burton. And he's speaking. In fact, he's doing a 10-hour round trip just to actually make that talk on Microbiz Matters Day. We've nearly finished all the pre-recorded videos, which go out between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. on Microbiz Matters Day. So that's for the big audience that we're streaming to all day. So that's absolutely fantastic. I got amazed. Well, 35 absolutely brilliant entrepreneurs have contributed to all of those pre-recorded videos and interviews I've done with them. And I'll go back a day before now. That's Microbiz Matters Day, 1 million helping hands. And then on Inspiration Day, on Thursday, the 24th of March, we have your brilliant, absolutely superb, outstanding Ireland and UK Micro Business Awards as a centerpiece. You're going to announce the grand final winners, right? And
That's
after
right.
that, we have all of this will be live streamed, by the way. So if you can't get to Scarborough, then you'll be able to see everything. Everything is live streamed all the time. Twitter is the place to look for Microbiz Matters. So we're constantly updating things. Hashtag Microbiz Matters. If you can't remember anything else of today's chat between Rory and myself, just remember hashtag Microbiz Matters. And on the 24th and 25th of March, go onto Twitter and hashtag Microbiz Matters, and you'll be able to, queue into lots of great things going on. And so we've got 3 motivational speakers, and then we've got my Be More Happypreneur show as well. So absolutely amazing lineup. It'll be absolutely great. But for all the people that are willing to buy a ticket, an early bird tickets are $49.99 for the 2 days at the moment. So anybody that can do it, or maybe a day ticket, then there are activities as well. So I'm doing an open top bus tour. We've got a stroll with Tina. We've got a 7-mile run with me from Macmillan Cancer Support. We've got all sorts of different activities going on. We've even got an escape room. I don't even know what one of those is, Rory. Do you know what one of those is?
Yes.
But we've even got an escape room attraction. So loads going on. It'll be great fun. But remember, the whole purpose of it is to recognize us, 95% of all businesses are micro businesses, as Rory and I tell you all the time. It's to recognize us, and it's for us to help each other survive and thrive as micro businesses by giving a little bit of time and learning a lot. We learn an awful lot during those 2 days as well from each other.
Absolutely. And of course, we will have a very special episode of the Lite Bite Lunch broadcasting from Scarborough on the day as well, where we'll meet a number of the businesses in attendance. And of course, just to say to everyone that in 2 weeks' time, as it is St. Patrick's Day, there won't be a Lite Bite Lunch broadcast that day, but we will be back a week later. So it'll be out of sequence then, when we will be live in Scarborough, and we'll be meeting with Tony and all the team and a lot of the businesses that are there as well. We have a very, very busy show planned, and we're going to get through as many businesses as possible while there. I'm really going to be looking forward to it. And as I said, I know a number of the Irish finalists are travelling. If there's anyone else would like to travel, just drop me an email and I can certainly sort out the details with you. Tony has very kindly, for some of the Irish travelling, has given us a very limited number of free 2 days.
Absolutely.
Right. So if any of the finalists would like to travel, just get in touch with me and you can actually enjoy the entire 2 days in Scarborough, courtesy of Micro Biz Matters Day, because your business is just as important to them.
Absolutely. No, it's going to be amazing. We'll have a lot of fun as well. So it's
absolutely. So take us back a little bit. Yes. When you first started Micro Biz Matters Day,
yes,
what were you hoping to achieve?
Yeah, well, I kind of, as you find out if you read The Happypreneur, I took a year's sabbatical. Went to Malta on my own to write a psychological thriller novel, and I'd got a bit disillusioned with the establishment. Can I call it, Rory? The way that government and corporate Britain, this is a UK thing. I don't know what was happening in Ireland at that time, but I was getting upset that a lot of the great work we'd done in the late 1990s to early 2000s was being undone in terms of supporting startups in the UK. And it was all about scale up now. It was all about high growth. And you'll even see it today in government initiatives. They say you've got to have a business with more than 5 employees. Does that make sense? It was discriminatory in my view. It was also discriminatory in a diversity point of view, because I'd been on something called the Ethnic Minority Business Task Group. And all the views of the ethnic minority business entrepreneurs there were totally ignored by the government after 2 years of consultation. So I was a bit disillusioned, and I decided to kind of resign in an executive role from one of the national organizations I'd founded and owned completely. And during that 12 months, I realized the power of social media, because I was in Malta and I realized how powerful Twitter was and how powerful Facebook were, and these things as mediums. And I thought, well, why can't we try and hit large numbers of micro business owners through social media for them to help each other? And so that the idea of what I've explained Micro Biz Matters Day was all about was what the concept was in Malta, talking to lots of people, including Tina Bowden, my co-founder of Micro Biz Matters, a number of other people that are coming to Scarborough that were actually in on the days before we launched in 2012, January 2012. And it had one simple aim, and it's on a T-shirt. It said, "Make life better for each other." That was it. It was just like, make life better for each other. And so we've pursued that for a full 10 years. And we honestly believe we have done things. The campaigns haven't been as successful as the communities we've built, but the community, like Paying 30 Days campaign and getting people buying from local businesses, we have made some impression. I'm not saying that we've done that, but the big thing we have done, and lots of people celebrate all the time, is we've put people together in touch with each other. no sign-ups required, Rory.
Yeah.
No payments of anything required. Just us giving our time to help each other, kind of thing. And I think we've achieved a great deal within that 10 years. And maybe we've kick-started as well a number of other networks and community groups, kind of thing. And it's like, if I've given a little bit of help to you in getting the micro business awards going in the UK, then that's the kind of thing that we've done in that 10 years. And that will, those micro business awards in the UK will continue on and again. And we've also got lots of people that are, I suppose we'd call them celebrity entrepreneurs, really, twisted arms, so that they've appeared at all our events and various things, and so that people know, I know what real business owners are about, rather than the mythical just speaker guru entrepreneurs are about. So that's what we've done, and I think we've done as much as we can to make life better for each other. And when the tough times happen, like as we've had through the pandemic, of the 3 million excluded UK from income support in the UK, then we've been able to call on lots of people to come together to try and help those that are in serious problems. And we wouldn't have done that without social media. The first 3-4 Micro Biz Matters days, they didn't have any events associated with them. They were totally virtual. They were, totally virtual, and we were just doing them from a laptop, like we're doing today, kind of thing. And we were just 9 hours actually talking to people, getting people to give their views and help each other.
Well, it's so important. And I mean, the only thing I'm wondering is, like, in the longer term, and I know that yourself and Tina have decided that it's time for you to take a step back.
Yes.
But in the longer term, I know Yorkshire and business are planning on keeping Micro Biz Matters Day alive.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's the great thing. I mean, we're not leaving something that isn't going to continue. We're actually, we've got something now in an organization which it needs. I mean, Tina and I have given all of our time and all of our money over 10 years, and there is nothing, frankly, that's the truth, there is nothing left of that. But Yorkshire in Business and Jen Crowther, the founder CEO, and her team, who I've worked with for many, many years, and they're absolutely fantastic. They're going to carry on the brand, and even the Small is Beautiful Roll of Honour, which I curated for a number of years, we've actually handed that over to the Organisation of Responsible Business. So they're going to continue the Small is Beautiful. So everything that we've created will continue, but in their own way. That's the point of it. We're not going to interfere with how they do it, but the values and the aims of everything we do will continue. So it's a positive story. It's a good thing for the future.
Absolutely. And of course, again, if anyone would like to book tickets, you can visit eventbrite.co.uk.
Oh, well done.
/e/microbiz matters -festival -tickets -28022 418 7087. And we will indeed put that out on the show afterwards. Actually, what I'll do is I'll actually paste it there into the comments now, so that people watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, it'll actually pop up on their comments. And Tony, we actually have a message for you there has come in from Monique Walsh. And Tony is so uplifting to listen to.
Monique.
He's a wonderful champion of his fellow human.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you ever so much, Ronnie. It's wonderful.
Right. Now, just to ask you, Tony, as you know from your previous times on the show, we always ask our guests about their favourite light bite lunch.
Yes.
So, what have you got on the menu today?
Well, it's a different one this time. I normally say Cinder Toffee ice cream, and I'm looking forward to buying you a Cinder Toffee ice cream when you come to Scarborough. But today it's very dull. Very dull. Is my light bite lunch is porridge. But there is a reason for that, which I'd like to say. You may know that for my 70th year, I'm doing 77. I'm doing 70 shows. Happy Be More Happypreneur shows, but I'm also doing 70 times 7 mile plus runs, finishing off with half marathons and a marathon for my 70th year to raise money for Macmillan Cancer Support, and I run in this hat which has got 5 of my friends' names around them that unfortunately lost their lives very young, and they were all very young. Friends to cancer. So I've been doing that for a long time, but I've now got to, in order to do my 70 runs by October the 14th, when I do the Yorkshire Marathon, I've now got to do 3 7-mile runs plus runs a week, Rory, which is quite a lot. And I run on porridge. So in 2 hours' time, after I've had my porridge, I will be going for a 7-mile plus runs to help raise money for Macmillan Cancer Support. So unfortunately, it must be the dullest light bite lunch in the world, but that's it. It's porridge.
No, but again, the whole thing about it is, though, porridge is so versatile, and because it's a slow release, it's great in terms of keeping the energy going.
Yeah, it's really runner's food. It's absolutely fantastic. It's great stuff.
Right. Now we're just getting word there from Brendan Murphy that he's now within the cordon, so he doesn't know if his signal is going to remain. They may have within the cordon the actual signal switched off. So I'm just give me 1 second here. I'm getting messages through. The joys of live broadcasting. You're trying to monitor several things at once, and I know Cheryl has been working trying to arrange a secure connection for him.
As I said before we got together, everything that we do at the moment seems so trivial, doesn't it, in comparison with what's happening elsewhere?
It really does. It really and truly does. No, we don't as of yet have him there. So we just ask you, what, as business people, what have we learned from COVID?
Yeah, well, I think that is the important message, I think, from talking to other business owners, that I hope comes through on my shows and our chats, Rory, because I know we're pretty much in agreement with this, really, is that I think a lot of the myths of running your own business get stamped on a little bit when there are difficult circumstances that hit you, either in your family and your friends or your business, or externally, like a financial crash or a pandemic or a war. And those, we can only control our own thoughts and actions, really. Yeah. And that is all we can do. And I think what we've learned most of all is actually don't listen to the myths of fake it till you make it. Don't actually think that if you get a £200,000 loan that you can turn it into £1 million in 2 or 3 years' time. You don't actually look at the basics of things like, the things that you talk about every day, that I talk about every day. Reduce your costs to the absolute minimum that you actually can, especially in the early years of running business. Ian Farrer is going to do a talk on Inspiration Day, is that nobody's going to come to save you.
Yes.
We as business owners have got to, number one, we can help each other we can help each other when somebody's in a hard time by actually lending them something, or giving them some time, or referring a customer to them, or buying from them, or doing things. So number one, nobody else is going to do it apart from us. So we've got to help each other. Two is get your costs to actually the minimum. Forget about looking the part, if you like. Of course you look the part, look clean and look business-like, but it's your personality and it's the services and products you offer that the customers are going to more want, not the flashy car.
Absolutely.
They're not going to buy the flashy car. So, actually make sure that you've got, and this is especially true in the first 3 years, remember that the difference between, in Silicon Valley, only 1 out of 10 of the businesses, with all that investment going in to help them survive 3 years, 1 out of 10. And yet 80% of business owners can survive, and they can survive the pandemic, they can survive the wars, they can survive various things if they actually treat every new thing that they do in their business as a new startup each time. It's like you've built loads of different income streams, haven't you, Rory, yes, to guard against, what they go down. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, for goodness sake, So we've learned those kind of things. We've learned that, let's go slowly, let's not go all in, not throw all the money and all the resources into something without doing some test trading. You've got to learn from customers about what they need and want, and then you've got to make your business fit that. So don't you think we've learned back to the basics of business, I think, through the pandemic, and we've realised that there could be times in the UK, I don't know what the figure is in Ireland, Rory, but in the UK, the average adult, including working adult, including all the self-employed, it's only 6 weeks loss of income away from serious debt.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, again, the way it's actually worded here is for I think it works out, it's 87% are 2 paychecks away from poverty.
Right. Well, that's absolutely right. Well, that's a very good. That's even a better way of putting it, I think. So if you think of a self-employed person, the average time somebody wastes as a micro business owner, self-employed, to actually get paid by is 70 days at the moment.
Yes.
I mean, and so what do? Well, they use the credit cards. They use they may have to borrow some money in various things. So all these things are the reality of doing business at the moment. And I think the pandemic has brought that into great focus. And the really encouraging thing is the number of people I know that have realized that multiple income streams thing is so important, and have said, I've got to get a part-time job as well. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? There is nothing wrong. I've got to start a new type of business. I love the business I'm doing, but it's not going to be able to make any money now. And so instead of plowing on with something that isn't working, they've flexed into another side hustle, really, another startup.
Again, people have this impression of side hustle being something bad. Having that side hustle can actually find a totally new direction that ties in with your business that you had never even considered. We do have a message in there from Wendy. I'm listening to you while I'm packing boxes of hand sanitizer that will be going for an onward journey to Poland later today. Least I could be doing is share your sentiment about what's important presently. And again, absolutely, Wendy.
Oh my
now,
goodness.
Unfortunately, we have had word that Brendan is not going to be able to join us because of the fact, while he's in the containment area there's very limited bandwidth and for the volume of people there, and we couldn't give him justice. But I do promise that on a future show, we will bring Brendan on and give him a lot of time to tell his story of his journey, because it's one well and truly worth listening to.
Absolutely.
I personally have known Brendan probably 14, 15 years, and For a long time, he's actually been screaming and shouting about the need of support for Ukraine and at the risk of this happening. But we will get Brendan on again, and we look forward to welcome him and wish himself and everyone else currently trying to escape Ukraine a very safe journey out of there.
Absolutely, and I think the wonderful thing that you and I have both found, I think, and I'm sure it's the same in all sectors, but I did an interview earlier this week with a business owner in France, and he'd got together 3 articulated lorries to get to take medical supplies and different things that he knew were needed to the Red Cross on the Polish border and to get them in. And I think that's going back to your earlier question, and I mean, this is far more horrific. I felt as sick as I did with the Iraq and Libya. The pounding of civilians is just, it's just appalling. But the one thing that we can do is, instead of just feeling powerless, we can actually listen to what people need, and we can actually do our very best to get what they do need to them by the power of community and various things. My goodness, if they can make Molotov cocktails and various things, then I'm sure that we can all do something. There's something in our power, isn't there, Rory, to actually get the right kind of help to them. And again, we can't rely on anyone else but ourselves to do that, I don't think.
No, absolutely agree with you. And I mean, I saw a wonderful suggestion on Facebook where somebody suggested, if you go to Airbnb and look at the range of properties in or around Ukraine, and from there, book one, even though you don't intend using the room, book it for a night or two. They have them. I was looking there before we came on air today, and you can actually book from as little as €11 a night. And that's actually putting money direct into somebody's pocket, which may be some help to them. So that even if you don't know how to go about getting the products out to them, or how to find some of these smaller charities, even a small gesture like that could make a huge difference to somebody on the ground.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. And I mean, as I said, like it's something that, unfortunately, I don't think it's something that's going to end very quickly. And I fear, much like the COVID situation, it's something we're going to be discussing for quite some time.
Yeah.
It almost makes me want to go back and discuss Brexit instead, but.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that this is the start of something that's going to go on for years, isn't it? I mean, it's an appalling prospect, but the fact is that this is a new reality for all of us, I think. But our attention has to go onto the people of Ukraine, because we can't actually afford to that's the worst thing about politics, isn't it? Like when they're talking about things, and they're talking about things way off in, whereas there's children being, shot at. Do you know what I mean? We've got to deal. You and I have got to deal with the here and now of what we can do here and now. It's like the creative sector. It's all the musicians in Ukraine and Poland and various things that are becoming citizen journalists, because they can actually create more influence on social media and through doing these kind of things, and they can put some pressures on these governments and on the it's like in the
I don't think anyone can put pressure on Putin. Putin is a particular breed that he couldn't care less what anyone has to think.
Absolutely. But we can put pressure on our politicians, can't we?
Yes. Oh no, absolutely.
You know,
And we need to.
that's this in general. You know, I mean, it's like the you know, for example, our prime minister actually said in Parliament, we've sanctioned 100 Russian individuals. When the BBC, who you know is almost like state media, actually questioned them about it, there were actually 15 on the list, which included people like Putin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it needs this journalism to say, no, that's you're not doing what you said you were going to do. You must.
But again, at the same time, where they saying, okay, we're implementing these sanctions against them. In reality, how much money does Putin actually have within the UK that they can prove is to be his?
Absolutely. But again, yeah, and of course, yeah. I mean,
the only thing is the Swiss coming out and saying we're now implementing sanctions because of the number of Swiss bank accounts believed to be held by these people. Great, they will be able to have some impact. But I mean, I think again, we all need to be doing as much as we can possibly to support Ukrainians, trying to help them once they're out of the country. Remember the psychological supports they're going to need.
Exactly,
and it's something
and that's more important. And us people helping people is more important than any of these things the politicians are doing. Frankly, you know, I mean, because at the end of the day, you know, it's somebody actually, you know, giving up their home to actually. It's getting the kids out to play again. Those are the important things that we can do here and now.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree with you. Once again, I just want to come back before we finish up, Tony. We're going to finish up a little bit early today. Once again, I just want to recap that for those that are available to come over to Micro Biz Matters Day, you can always go to the link. We have shared it there on Facebook and on YouTube. We'll post it on LinkedIn after the show. Also, if you haven't got the link, just search eventbrite.co.uk and search Micro Biz Matters Festival, and you will find the tickets there. And of course, the same thing applies. Anyone that is coming along, do let me know, and we'll try and include you for a few minutes slot on the show in 3 weeks' time. John, any advice to startups before we finish up?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important. There will be record numbers of startups, certainly in the UK. Last year was a record during the pandemic. And this year will break that record number of startups in the UK. And people say, well, that's a bit strange. I mean, you know, I talked earlier about 3 million people being excluded from income support, self-employed and various things. And there's been lots of talks about the massive numbers of people that were self-employed that have actually gone into employment, you know, they've actually changed. But the point is that it's about quality of life, really. And it seems a strange thing to talk about because we've been talking about Ukraine and all these different things and pandemics and various things. I would urge people to look at starting a business, because you and I and all the people coming to Scarborough are incredibly proud of what we've done in starting and running our own businesses. And although most people I know aren't earning as much money perhaps as they actually did when they were in corporates or various things, they nevertheless are happier. They are happypreneurs as a result of it. And so just on startups, I would say, you know, don't be put off from thinking about, start it from home, start it gradually, start it as a side hustle, don't do anything like that. But, it's the most positive, wonderful thing you can do, because you are in control of your own destiny as much as you possibly can. You can, if you build it the way that Rory and I talk to, if you get in with a group of other business owners that have got the t-shirt, they'll offer help, they'll offer advice. If you're willing to listen to them and your prospective customers and various things, you'll be okay. Keep your costs to the minimum, test trade first, bootstrap, don't borrow as much as you can, all those good things. If you follow that kind of thing, then what you've got is something like me in the 70th year. And for example, if I need money, I feel confident that I can make a little bit of money. I'll sell some of my collections. I'll do all sorts, but I am in control of what I put my time into, of things that I know I can do to get some money back. And honestly, it's a good way, I think, of being true to your own values and what you actually do and what you actually think is important. So I just like to end with that kind of positive startup message, really, Rory, is being enterprising is a good way of life. It's something that you and I both enjoy, and you only need come along and watch some of the live streaming or whatever on Biz Matters Day to say what it means in terms of life and making ends meet through doing something you like doing.
Absolutely. And we do have a question from Wendy in relation to Biz Matters Day. Any tips on best places to stay over for the event?
Wendy,
Hold on, Wendy. Let me jump in here first, Tony. If you want to join the Irish party, Wendy, we've actually based ourselves in the Crown Spa Hotel. Although, however, there is the likes of the Premier Inn I know that others are staying at as well that are travelling. But I'm sure Tony can give us a whole hotel by hotel tour of Scarborough.
Well, I won't do that. I think Rory's the Crown Spa Hotel, I would say, is the best hotel, and that's on our lovely South Bay. And we've got some wonderful gardens as well on that south esplanade and various things. So it's absolutely beautiful place to stay with great sea views. Our two parties, and Jen asked me to mention this to a lot of people, our two parties are at the Teepee, which is at our open air theatre in Scarborough, which is in the North Bay. Crown Spa Hotel's in the South Bay. And so the nearest, for anybody that might be staggering back from a party, is the new Premier Inn at the North Bay, near our new swimming pool complex in Scarborough. And so there is a Premier Inn at the North Bay. But as you know, I'm absolutely confident in all of the wonderful indie business owners that even run bed and breakfast in Scarborough. Don't be afraid to go to somewhere small at the complete opposite end to the Crown Spa Hotel. They're absolutely fantastic, and a search will do that. But yeah, I would say, Wendy, there's so many fantastic options, but we regenerated Scarborough about 20 years ago, and we're actually very proud of the standard of accommodation from indie business owners to some of the biggest hotels.
Yeah, absolutely. And a message there from Maggie just saying, very interesting chat. Thanks, Rory and Tony. Thanks, Maggie. Great to have you.
Thanks, Maggie.
Join us, and I'll be in touch with you over the next week or so. Maggie is actually who has done the certificates for us, Tony, so I'll be meeting Maggie over the next week or so to pick up the sites to bring over.
Lovely.
Right. Well, we are a little bit ahead of schedule, but I think we'll leave it there. As a final note, once again, we're keeping everyone in Ukraine in our thoughts and looking forward to them getting out. We wish all our Irish and our visitors to Ireland for St. Patrick's Day a wonderful, wonderful time. We will be back with you again on the 23rd when we'll be coming to you live from Scarborough, and we'll be at Biz Matters Day. Tony, as always, great to have you join us. We really do appreciate it.
Great.
And we will catch up with you in a couple of weeks.
Fabulous. Looking forward to it, Rory. Thank you for having me on the show.
Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.